Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I wanted to say a massive thank you and welcome to all of my new friends who have joined here recently. I really massively appreciate you all, and to everyone who's been supporting me from day one as well. I appreciate you all massively. Now, a few videos back, I showed you my snow windows that I had created in my kitchen. The first time I've ever picked up a can of snow spray. Maybe I picked one up when I was like 6 in the 80s and did some stenciling, but this is the first time ever trying anything. Oh, hello, George. How did you get up here? He is never usually allowed in here. He's never come in this room. Hello. I missed you too. I missed you too. I know it's been 6 minutes since we last saw you. 6 whole minutes. Say hi, Georgie. Say hey. Hi everyone. Turn that round. You want to say bye? You want to say bye? Georgie, kiss. Hey, who are you growling at? Birds are allowed to fly past the window. They're allowed. You gotta go. I'll be back. Where was I? I think I was saying I've never done this before. But yes, I've never done this before. I've never done freehand snow spray. So when I showed you guys my windows and asked if you'd like to see how I did it, so many of you said yes, and here is the video. But I need to also let you know that there will be flashing lights at the beginning. I was filming my window in the evening and there are Christmas lights on the windowsill in my kitchen, and it is creating a flickering image. So if you are sensitive to flashing lights, you might want to kind of skip forward somewhat. And yeah, I just thought I'd come on and warn you. I'm going to show you the tools I'm using. I'm going to show you the spray that I use, but also I have to let you know that the main inspiration for these windows came from Snow Windows and Snow Graffiti. They are two incredible snow spray artists. I found them on TikTok. Just incredible. So don't go and watch them first because you might not want to come back. Okay, you just might not want to come back. Like I said, the video I'm going to show you is the most basic snow window as a beginner, because I am a total beginner, as a newbie, a beginner, picking up the snow spray for the first time. Let's go. The tools I'm using, honestly, it's all I had, so it's what I made do with. I'm using some Cricut scrapers. Now, Snow Windows and Snow Graffiti use an actual blade, a metal blade, like a paint scraper. I didn't have one. I'm using my Oyster card, which is the London travel card, and yeah, because this is just easier for smaller areas. Also, you might want something a bit smaller, so if you've got an old store card or an old credit card, cut that up and you can use little pieces of that. I'm using a spatula for the mountains, and I'm also using a silicone tool here. This is like a clay silicone tool. I'm using this for the windows and any small detail. The snow spray I actually bought was the 600ml can. One piece of advice, get the 600ml can. They are giant. They will go a lot further. Now, I bought this from Christmas World UK, but of course look for your snow spray wherever you find it. This is not the same snow spray that Snow Graffiti and Snow Windows use, and it doesn't have so much of a precision spray point. Like, I can't do teeny tiny dots like they can. But anyway, this is my kitchen window. I decided to film it at night because that is when it looks most magical. If you missed that video, this is the window that I did first time ever picking up a snow spray can, and honestly, following the tips and the tutorials that I had seen on Snow Windows and Snow Graffiti's TikToks. That is what I learned. So I figured in this video, firstly, I'm going to show you how to clean it off, because I did get a lot of messages on that video like, this is a great idea, but the cleanup, I mean, guys, it's not that hard. And I mean, if you know me, you'll know that my windows probably need a good old scrub anyway, so now's a good time to do it. All I'm going to do is use my scraper. This is about 4 days old, so I did practice on my back doors, like I said in that video. I use my scraper to get off all of the excess, and then just use a sponge scourer. I've got my Scrub Daddy here. I'm just fairy liquid water, like, give it a scrub. It's really, honestly, it's not as hard or as stressful as some of you may think it is. I can tell you now, there is a cleanup to be had, but it's not that much. And again, George wanting to get in on the action. But yeah, use your dustpan and brush to get off all the flakes that come off in that very first scrape, and you've got yourself a nice clean window. It's worth it. It's so worth it for the joy that this brings. Back to the window. So It took me a while, guys. It took me a couple of hours to figure out the best filming, like which window could I use. I don't want to do this at the front of my house for obvious reasons, but also all of my windows, it was just so awkward to get the right filming angle. So I decided to scrape my window. I decided to scrape off this first window here, and this is where I will show you. So we are looking at the three main elements that I use to create all three windows. We are going to do a house, a mountain, and two different types of trees on this one window. And that is all I used. So you can take those three things that I create and you can create as much or as little as you wish on yours. The first thing to do is get your ground. Now, I don't know why I went for a mountainous, hilly floor. On the other windows it is straight across, and honestly, as a beginner, I would generally just go straight across your window with the snow spray and bring your scraper down. Now, the biggest tip I can give you is to actually scrape towards the snow. If you want a nice crisp flat edge, we are scraping towards the snow like you see me doing here. Bring your scraping tool down towards the snow. Don't put it to the side and drag it across, because that's going to give you a really uneven textured line. There will be no flat crisp line like you see here. Next up, we are doing a house. We're just going to draw a tent. So we're going triangle, line across the top, and then line down the other side. Join them at the bottom and you've got a tent. So the house is really a tent shape. And at this point, we're just covering in that roof. And again, don't worry about the messy edges. We're going to bring our scraping tool and pull the snow towards the mane. We're not dragging, we're just pushing the snow back down into the shape that we want. And again, like I say, this is very much a beginner's, so there's probably better techniques out there, but this is what I did. I'm dragging up as well. So any area, even if you wanted a circle, you could do a big blob on your window, a big messy blob, and then just go around that circle like 50 times to get it to a crisp, neat snowball. Bring your scraper in, push against the snow to make those sharp, crisp edges. Now, this is a snow covered roof. So what I do eventually do is I round off the corners so it doesn't look like such a sharp cornered roof, if that makes sense. It looks more like an old English thatched cottage. But again, that's all entirely up to you and your interpretation and how you choose to go and do your window. But that is pretty much the roof sorted. The next thing to do is just make it as neat as you possibly can and be as happy with it as you can be. One thing to mention here again is that there's no real perspective here. It's probably all quite skew-iffy and wonky. Next thing is to fill in the walls. Now, we're not going to go near the roof, so we've got this shadow. You can already see here, I've created a shadow now underneath that roof, giving the illusion that the roof is overhanging the wall of the house. And bring the sides in. Get your scrapers, your tools, whatever it is you're using, bring the sides in. And the same with the other side of the house. I've sprayed a whole bunch of snow there that you can see, but don't worry, because we're going to drag it back in towards the house to create the illusion of that outside line. Now, I did spray a lot of snow, so you can see that wall there is quite thick. We don't need it that thick. It wasn't that thick on my original window, but again, it's all okay. Just scrape towards the line that you need. If you're creating anything, you can just spray the window and scrape towards. Same with the chimney, spray, bring your scraper left, top, and right, and then you've got yourself a chimney. You could make that chimney 3D, three-dimensional, to go around the back of the house. I'm not there yet, guys. I am not there yet. What I really love is the fact that we have that shadow under the roof and it's already giving it this kind of 3D look, and I really love that. Next up, smoke, just one straight line, and pull your can away from the window if you want that kind of a big, if you want the snow spray to reach a larger area, pull your can away from the window and you get that foggy, smoky look. Using my silicone tool, I'm just scraping down. So little rectangles, down, down, down to create your windows. And then what I'm going to do is actually create the door. So again, another light spray in that blank space. Bring your scraper in the left, bring it in on the right, bring it down on the top. Remember, we're scraping towards
we're not dragging down the sides. Next thing we're going to do now is actually create a path or a river or whatever it is you want to call it. Now, honestly, I really didn't like this section, but I'm leaving it in for the sake of the video because, I don't know, you guys might like it. Next up is a fence because we can. I'm using my Oyster card. Of course, you can use anything. Just dip it in the window, dip it in the snow, and it will automatically create a line. You don't have to put too much effort in. Just lots of lines going vertically, and then turn your card around depending on your fence sizes to create those fence posts going vertically. And you've got yourself a fence. There's nothing particularly neat here, like I say a billion times as a beginner. I just wanted it to look pretty. I wasn't fussed. I'm bringing the land up around the house because I really wasn't happy with the way that path stroke, river stroke, whatever it is, was going. So now I just sprayed a little bit more above. I'm bringing my scraper, pushing that back down to create more of a hill. So now we have two hills and a house, and I really love it. It is time for the tree. So snow graffiti and snow windows, they both do different trees. I'm going to show you both methods. The first one is the very typical, very Christmas tree looking one. Just spray a rough triangle. Don't worry about those scattered edges. We're going to bring it back to neat. Get your scraper, scrape towards. Always scrape towards your piece. This gives you this crisp outline. We're then going to use our silicone tool to create, guys, I cannot even believe this. This is very Bob Ross. Honestly, this is very Bob Ross. We're going in at an angle towards upwards. So we're pushing in and up, in and up, in and up. I'm actually going to bring the camera in so you can see what I'm doing. In, up, in, up, in, up. This is just pushing that snow spray off of this, basically taking it off of the window, but it's leaving behind what looks like snow covered branches. I couldn't even cope when I did this. So Bob Ross, get your tool at the end, bring up through the middle, and you have got yourself a huge tree trunk. Next up, we're going to do a mountain. One big triangle or little triangles, depending on the mountain that you want. Don't bring that snow spray all the way down to the house. We're going to create the illusion that the mountain is off in the far distance. Again, don't worry about the mess because we're scraping that snow back down towards the mountain to create this gorgeous crisp line. Do the same on the other side. I have to say, I don't have, like I said, I don't have the blade. I don't have the metal razor blade that these guys use, and that would give you a much cleaner window at the end of it. Next up, we are going full Bob Ross with our spatula. We are just going crazy on this. We're holding it flat, so we're gonna pat the mountain flat, and then on the edge, flat, and then on the edge. Just bring it down, have fun, scrape away, make lots of marks, lots of indentations, and already, look at this, guys. Look at this. Again, very Bob Ross. This is very much a Bob Ross in his oil paint or acrylic paint kind of style. And if you're not happy with the marks it's leaving, you can just go back over and make them a little bit more snow-capped mountains. And that's it. That is it. We have our mountain. You could bring that snow spray a little bit further down towards the house. I think that gap's a bit big if I'm honest, but the closer you are to the window, the more you get. The further away from the window, the more it's more of a spray. All I'm doing here is going into the door, creating my 6 windows, and I do actually come back again and spray the house from a distance just to kind of dull down those windows a little bit. And here are all the elements I used in all 3 of my snow windows, and I hope you've found it really, really helpful. Of course, you can really add so much more detail. In my original snow window, I had some beams in the house, but now we're going to do another tree. This is more of the tree that I did in my center window, and for this you will need a brush. Totally forgot to show this at the beginning of the video. My brush is a little bit clean, it's a little bit looked after. You're better with an old scruffy brush, so just go crazy, create this huge triangle. We're not even worried about making this one neat. This is going to be a giant pine tree, a giant fir tree in the forest, in the woods. And now we're going to make it snow-capped. We're going to basically bash the window at an upwards angle similar to the silicone tool. And what that does is it removes a lot of the snow spray, but then it deposits a lot of that snow spray, what looks like on the tops of the branches of the tree. grab your finger, grab whatever, shove it in, bring it up, and you've got your giant trunk. And that's it, guys. That is it. I'm not pretending it's the easiest thing on the planet to do. I understand that it could be hard, but honestly, having never done this before and having this be my very first snow window, all of the elements that I've shown you in this window are the elements that appear throughout my 3 windows. So you've got the giant fir trees in the center, in the forest. You've got that little Christmas tree right next to the cottage on the left window. And then you've got the mountains in the background. I mean, honestly, I did do a reindeer. I did do a stag, but it was tragic. It was I do say to people I can't draw, and I genuinely can't. Like, when it came to doing the stag or the reindeer, it wasn't great. So again, go check out Snow Windows and Snow Graffiti. They definitely do better reindeers than me. I also forgot in this video to just draw a little line under the trees with your credit card or your Oyster card or your scraper to create that effect of a shadow under the trees. It's only now that I'm editing and doing my voiceover that I realise I did forget to show you that. But if you look at that central window, use your scraper, just do a little bit of a left and right underneath the trees to create that shadow. And yeah, that's the only thing I really left out here. But again, you could do so much with this. I feel like I could have turned those cabins into log cabins. I could have done lines across to make it look like a log cabin in the forest, in the mountains of Canada, and just so many possibilities. Again, I'm very much a beginner. I know I've said that 10,000 times. I think I'm just scared. I'm scared that someone's going to come in and be like, really, Claire, call that a snow window? But yeah, I am just showing you what I did as a brand new, never held this spray can before. I would truly love you guys to have a go. The biggest tip I can give you is to get the biggest can possible, the 600ml can. I've honestly still got so much left. I bought 2 cans and I've got so much left in that first can. That is the one big piece of advice I could give you. But also, even the tools, just use what you have. Don't go out of your way to go and buy this swish bladed tool that these guys have. They are professionals. If you want to get into it and you fall in love with it, then by all means go and buy one. I'm not going to buy one until I truly am doing this as a career. Other than that, there's no other advice I can give you apart from have fun, do what makes you happy, and don't worry about the cleanup, guys. Life is way too short for that, and right now we need all of the happiness that we can possibly get. I hope you've enjoyed this and I hope you've got some inspiration from it. I really appreciate you for watching. Even though it's not my normal content, I still appreciate you very much for being here. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is